Hello, Namaskar, and welcome to Talking Point Blank. On Talking Point Blank, I'm going to introduce a new series wherein I'm going to debunk all the misinformation, disinformation, propaganda, and obviously fake narratives which are coming from not only from geopolitical adversaries but also from the political adversaries within India. So it's all about fighting the information, misinformation, disinformation, and bringing out the facts, the reality, and the truth behind all these allegations which are continuously being made on us. Now, today I'm going to talk about the dossier Pakistan has prepared on India, where internationally they have been giving this dossier, presenting it, this dossier on the recent Indo-Pak skirmishes or a limited war, which we talk about, which happened after the Pahalgam terror attack. Now, going by this dossier, which they call as Operation Banyanum Marus. So basically, this dossier is aimed at the global narrative to shape the Pakistani version of the global narrative. But let's look at it, into this dossier. Let's dissect this dossier and let's see how factual it is or how propaganda in nature it is. So going by the executive summary, and if you go by the same summary, you will know that the highlighted things you can see on this is that the Pakistan said that within 10 minutes of the Pahalgam attack, without any credible investigation, Pakistan was named in the FIR that was launched after the Pahalgam terror attack, when the reality is that within those 10 minutes, and not even 10 minutes, I think it was about 5.5 to 6 minutes, the Lashkar-e-Toiba's front, TRF, the resistant front, which is nothing but a proxy of Lashkar-e-Toiba in Jammu and Kashmir, went ahead and claimed the Pahalgam attack online. It is only after hours, once India started blaming Pakistan, that Lashkar-e-Toiba and TRF retracted their statement and they said they don't have a role to play in it. But the reaction why India went ahead and lodged an FIR on Pakistan, on Pakistani-based terrorists, was because the terrorists sitting in Pakistan claimed that attack. So before Pakistan goes ahead and talks about, this being a flag false operation, they really need to look at how they keep on claiming attacks real time in Jammu and Kashmir. And this is not the first time it has happened. Pakistani social media terror associated linked accounts have always claimed terror attacks happening in Jammu and Kashmir almost real time on X and on other social media platforms like Facebook as well. So Pakistan's disclaim that without any credible evidence, India went ahead and lodged an FIR against Pakistani terror-based organizations is absolutely falsified and bereft of any reality. Now, very interesting thing in this, in this summary and this dossier is that Pakistan talks about Indian history of false flag operations. And not only Pahalgam, in that they have mentioned attacks in Mumbai, the terror attack in Mumbai, which we know resulted in heavy losses of civilian casualties, and also the Pulwama terror attack. Now, Pakistan says and blames India for carrying out terror attacks, which are basically false flag terror attacks, to basically address India's own political, internal dimensions. But the reality is, and they have made the same statement on Pahalgam as well, the reality is India is growing as an economy, is very strong internally, politically. We are at number 4 at the moment. India really doesn't need to do these things to, to manage its own political internal realities. The political internal reality of India is that India is growing and has a very, very strong and a popular government under the Prime Minister of Narendra Modi. But keeping that aside, when Pakistan mentions history of false flag operations inside India, by India, and when especially they mention Mumbai terror attack, Pakistan has been caught lying pants down. Why? Because not only the world knows that Lashkar-e-Toiba was behind Mumbai terror attacks, but we also know that the investigation not only done by us but also done by the CIA when they got David Headman, arrested, and after that Tahawur Rana was also arrested, and right now he has been extradited to India from US, clearly nails Pakistan's hand into the Mumbai terror attack. So if Pakistan wants to close its eyes and still don't want to accept that Mumbai terror attack was carried out by Lashkar-e-Toiba men who have been indicted, who have been arrested, and who have been on record going and claiming those accounts, then I think it is Pakistan which really needs a reality check. The world doesn't need that reality check. And Pakistan has always stayed away and ran away from the reality, has always lived in a gaga land of its own, where they believe that the lies they perpetrate are going to be bought by the world. But this is how pathetic this attempt again is by Pakistan, to call Pahalgam attack as well as a false flag operation. Now, the case Pakistan is trying to build on this false flag is on certain media section reports, wherein Pakistan is saying, look, not only the global media but also the Indian media is questioning Pakistan, questioning Indian government on the attack. But what Pakistan doesn't realize is something very, very simple. And that is the media which is questioning, the Indian government, or the media or the world media which is talking about the Pahalgam attack, is talking about intelligence failure. And in any democracy, in any vibrant democracy, every media has a right to ask questions. Unlike Pakistan, where media is completely gagged and shut down by the ISPR, where media cannot ask any independent questions to the Pakistani military or the Pakistani establishment. In India, the Indian media is free and fair to ask any questions, and it is very fair to ask about intelligence failure. Was it because intelligence failure doesn't mean it's a false flag operation carried out by the government on its own? The Pakistanis have aced the false flag operations, and Pakistan thinks just because the false flag operations they have done continuously in Pakistan by targeting the minorities, especially the Hazaras, all through the 90s, the 2000s, the 2010s, bombing using non-state actors and bombing their religious places or their leaders, or assassinations, or the latest Haqqaniya bombing which happened in on the Afpak border. Pakistan thinks that they can basically run away with the same claim when it comes to India, but that's not true. Intelligence failure in no way means that it's a false flag operation. Intelligence failure means that the terrorists were able to carry out their terror objective. So yes, it could be an intelligence failure on Indians' intelligence source, agencies, but intelligence failure also tells you that how potent the risk from Pakistan of terrorism in India and in Jammu and Kashmir is. So if Pakistan thinks that by pointing out an intelligence failure is basically equating it with false flag, Pakistan really needs to get itself checked out completely, because intelligence failure doesn't mean a false flag operation. And if that is the truth, and if that's what Pakistan thinks, that intelligence failure equates to false flag operations, then what happened in Balochistan on that train hijacking where Pakistan lost more than 150 soldiers, I think that was a false flag operation carried out by the Pakistanis in Balochistan. What the terror attacks which happen in Pakistan day in and day out, between a range of 8 to 10 to 10 to 20 to 30 terror attacks a day, they are all false flag operations, because as per Pakistanis, intelligence failure means false flag operation. So before Pakistan blames India for false flag operations, it's Pakistan which needs to really look into what's happening within Pakistan, and those are the false flag operations Pakistan is carrying within its boundaries and outside its boundaries as well. Moving to another section, wherein Pakistan says that the Indian missiles and the Indian drones targeted, and this is very interesting. The Pakistan does accept in this dossier that India struck places in Bhavalpur, in Muridke, and in Muzaffarabad. Now we all know, and the Pakistanis are making a bizarre claim that innocent civilians were killed, but the reality is, the whole world knows, in Muridke, Lashkar-e-Toiba has a headquarter. In Bhavalpur, Jaish-e-Mohammed has a headquarter. In Muzaffarabad, there are several terror camps and launching pads which operate from Pakistan with the sole purpose of not only training terrorists but also preparing them to infiltrate into Jammu and Kashmir and rest of India. So Pakistan has gone ahead and accepted that these three, locations were hit by the Indian missiles, and the world knows that Hafiz Saeed in Muridke, Maulana Azhar Masood in Bhavalpur, and Saeed Salahuddin and his UJC operating out of Muzaffarabad. These are the main terror camps which operate within Pakistan. So not only that, then Pakistan also talks about, India hitting civilian infrastructure and civilians getting killed. But the reality is the videographic evidence coming out of Pakistan, satellite imagery which has emerged out of Pakistan clearly point out to pinpoint strikes on terror and Pakistani military infrastructure, unless and until the Pakistani military houses civilians in its military infrastructure on its runways and its airports and its radar bases. The Indian strikes have been precise to the point of their target, and that is what has stuck Pakistan so deeply. On the contrary, it was Pakistan who opened fire on civilian infrastructure in Jammu and Kashmir. We know that civilian houses were targeted along the LOC, and not only along the LOC but also through their drones. In city of Jammu, we saw a drone landing on a house in Jammu. We also saw a drone landing on a car where a civilian was injured. So Pakistan targeted the civilian infrastructure and the local populace. When India came to retaliation, they were pinpointed, precise strikes, not only on the terror infrastructure in Pakistan, but also on the Pakistani military infrastructure. That is how precise, how accurate the Indian strikes in Pakistan were. Now, Pakistan might talks about in this dossier also, they have gone ahead and tried to convince the world that Pakistan launched a counter-offensive, and their counter-offensive was something which was quite precise to the Indian military targets. Well, I have already debunked that theory, and Pakistan has not been able to hit even a fly moving around any Indian military installation. So that is all just you can say a propaganda from Pakistan and nothing else. Dil khush karne ki baat hai, nothing else. So in conclusion, they are saying that India has a history of orchestrating terror attacks, false flag terror attacks. The reality is Mumbai terror attacks, the whole world knows Tahir Rana is our biggest witness at the moment, who's in our custody. Ajmal Kasab was caught alive, and we know where he all came from. His tapes, his confessions is all there out in the world to see for them and to realize what Pakistan did in Mumbai. Same thing has happened in Pahalgam. And one thing more, if the Pakistanis think that this was a false flag operation, what was the compulsion for the Pakistani military to stand behind the terrorists who were carrying out funeral processions inside Pakistan? The Pakistani military journals, the Pakistani police officials, the Pakistani administrative people were all standing behind a terrorist called by Mohammed Roof from Lashkar-e-Toiba, who was actually carrying out, funeral prayers for the men who had died in Indian strikes on the terror camps in Pakistan. So Pakistan has not only gone ahead and, exposed itself once again in front of the world that it backs terrorism, uses terrorism as a state policy, and uses terrorism as an export industry for Pakistan, but Pakistan has once again gone ahead after Pahalgam, and the statements we have seen coming from Pakistan has once again reiterated that Pakistan and terrorism, Pakistani military and Pakistani terrorism or terrorism factories in Pakistan and the organizations are an extended part of each other. So this dossier is as bad as the Pakistani lies of winning the war against India. It's as bad as convincing the world on what the reality of Pakistan is when it comes to terror, from Mumbai to Pathankot to Pahalgam. And there is one more important point that Pakistan makes in this dossier, and that is Pakistan's offer of holding out joint investigation into terror. What Pakistan forgets is that this was the offer which was given after the Mumbai attacks, after the Pathankot attacks, after the Uri attacks. We went ahead and accepted their offer. Nothing worked on from Pakistan. From the Mumbai attack, Pakistan never handed over Hafiz Saeed to India. Pakistan even went ahead and said that the proof is inconclusive. Same happened with Pathankot, where ISI officials came and studied and then went back and nothing else. So Pakistan's ploy to use a free and fair investigation is nothing but a hogwash, basically, which India has given Pakistan a chance in the past to come clean and to prove itself clean. But on the reality is, on the ground, that what happened was Pakistan used it as an excuse to run away from the terror attacks it carried out in India in different past, whether it was Mumbai, Pathankot, Uri, Pulwama, or now in Pahalgam. So Indian government is not going to buy, India is not in a mood to buy Pakistan's false hope and lying of saying that joint investigation should be given, an independent investigation and foreign investigation should be conducted, when the reality is India has conclusive, full proof against Pakistan, not only in Mumbai, but also in Pathankot, also in Uri, also in Pulwama, and also in Pahalgam. So India doesn't need to prove to Pakistan, or doesn't need to give that inch to Pakistan, where Pakistan can go ahead and spread further lies and propaganda. Pakistan as a nation survives on propaganda, lives on lies, complete lies always, and its history is written in lies. And if Pakistan thinks by selling this Dossier to the world it is going to do any favor to them, well, just it's going to expose Pakistan more, and it has made already Pakistan's case weak by invoking Mumbai as a false flag operation, because the whole world knows what happened in Mumbai as well as in Pulwama. So this is what I wanted to bring out today and talk about Pakistan's Dossier, how, they want the propaganda they want to do and the fake news they want to, sell to the world is something the Pakistanis are going very, very hard to sell, because the reality is in front of the whole world, and India has put its case very, very strongly in the international community as well. I hope you like this video. I'll be coming out with more such videos in the future. Please share this video with your friends and with your family. Help me grow this channel. Like it, share it, subscribe it, become members. And till next time, I see you again. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.